welcome to the first podcast of the Twigs and Rigs podcast today. I am Jacob Goldpolly, joined by Zach Rosen. We
Hello.
got a lot of cool stuff for this show. I think Zach and I are very excited to bring you guys the content that we got lined up. First episode here, we're just going to do a light little introduction, just kind of get to know us, and we'll run through a little bit of the couple of the segments that we have lined up already. Of course, we'll be adding and subtracting based off what you guys want to see. But we'll run through that, and then we'll get to some Twitter questions, which is a way for you guys to interact with us. You guys should tweet at Zach, and he'll plug his Twitter in after his introduction, and that we'll be able to see what you guys want us to talk about. And yeah, like I said, a little introduction, run through what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to do Twitter questions so that way you guys can see the way we view hockey. That way, when we go in depth in other episodes, you have a little bit of a background on our thinking and our thought process when it comes to hockey. So, without further ado, my name is Jacob Goldpolly. I am 20 years old, a junior at Temple University. I played hockey for a couple years. I played in high school. I'm playing roller hockey now. Hopefully for Temple this year. Tryouts are Monday, so wish me luck on that, eh? But so I am a huge hockey fan. My dream is to be an NHL general manager. Working my way up. Recently, just got a job with the Flyers. Hoping to get a job uh, with an online scouting organization. So we're working our way up, and I'm excited to do this podcast so we really show what we're all about. And I met Zach here in Nashville. We both went to the SMWW. Shout out to them, fantastic organization. Um, we went to their. Well, how would you explain it? It was a conference.
Uh, yeah. It was a conference till I believe it was. It ran. The conference ran from 8 a.m. to 3:45, I believe. It was a lot of network. It was a big networking thing. It was a lot of conferences of. It showed a lot of advice. Showed a lot of like what people do behind the scenes and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah,
So that, and then we went to the draft, which
both days, which was
yeah,
awesome.
both days, which
I'm
Nashville's a
sure.
hell of a city.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Me
Like,
and Zach and I have a lot of stories that I'm sure we're gonna be able to tell you. We got some really good ones.
if only
One
we were
one in
both
particular.
21.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's some awesome stories that I'm sure throughout our podcast we'll be telling you guys. One in particular, and my favorite is the one where me Zach and I met Leo Carlson and talked for him for like 2 hours. So
Him and
I'm
his
sure we'll be
brothers are
plugging
great
all of that.
guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to them, man. They're fantastic people.
Yeah.
But I'll toss it over to Zach now for a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll hop into some segments.
I'm Zach Rosen. I'm currently a junior at Indiana University studying sports management and marketing. My goal, pretty much same as Jacob's. I mean, be a GM and scout pretty much. I currently really don't have any experience because I have to get. I really don't have any experience. I mean, I helped evaluate tryouts for the hockey team here at IU at least for a day before I got sick. Uh, but it was fun. I'm hoping to hopefully do something with them coming this season. I'm a Stars fan as well on the side, I guess. So they're pretty much the team I know the most about. But I know a lot about the league. I know a lot about prospects, analytics as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, quick shout out to Zach here. I had genuinely never met someone more smart when it comes to just hockey knowledge. Like in my life, like when I met Zach, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to stay in contact with this guy because this guy is going places. You guys will hear it throughout the podcast. This man is a well of knowledge. So really excited and really honored to be on the podcast here with him, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be insightful. It's gonna be pretty cool. Oh, I'll show you the jersey I got. We got this one in Nashville, Tanner Janot jersey. Quick story behind this: when we were looking at the jerseys, we
Me
actually ran
too.
into Tanner Melindix. He was the first round pick for Nashville this year. Tanner Melindix cousin, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a Tanner Melindick jersey. and Zach and I were both looking for jerseys, and they were just so expensive. The custom ones, how much were
Yeah.
these? They were like,
So the custom I wanted, I got an All Star jersey just because it's pretty generic. Like it's something I was gonna get signatures on, right? I wanted to get, I believe that year the Stars All Star was Pavelski, so I was gonna get a Pavelski one. $110 for a custom on an All Star jersey, ridiculous. I don't know how much it was gonna be for just like a normal Nashville jersey. By the way, side note about that, when I went down to the store on day 2. I met Michael Vrabel, tall guy, much taller than me. Big boy, like 6'5", I believe.
oh yeah.
And I also met Tanner Malindic. So I don't think I told you that either.
I think you briefly told me about it.
I told you about Vrabel. I don't think I told you about Malindic.
You definitely told me about Rabel. I don't remember Melindic. I don't remember.
Yeah, I bumped into his cousin again, and Malindic was there.
Oh no, I did know that. You did tell me that.
Ah.
No, you did tell me that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got the Tanner Jeannot jersey because I was looking through and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get a jersey. Like I'm here, like I have to get one.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through the prices. And I'm like, okay, it's like 110, like 165, and then I go to this one rack and it's like $75. And I'm like, all right, like now we're cooking. So like I'm looking through the names and I'm like, okay, David Riddick, Tanner Jeannot, Ryan Johansson. So I'm like, all right, let me get a Tanner Jeannot jersey because like that's sick. So then I come to college, and my roommate. Well, so I hang up all my jerseys in my room, and my roommate comes in and he goes, "What is the deal? Like you got Hall of Famers all over the place, and then there's just Tanner Jeannot." Just completely out of place. So it says, I love this jersey though. It's fantastic quality. I mean, it's exotic. If I go to
Nashville, jerseys are also pretty solid.
Oh yeah, exactly. I had to grab one. So now if I'm ever in Nashville again, I'm wearing a Tanner Jeannot jersey. It'll be exotic. Not many people have a Tanner Jeannot jersey, so it'll be pretty cool.
Some people do.
Some people do, but it's more than likely it'll be more exotic than most jerseys. I think the David Riddick would have been unbelievable.
Oh no, that would have been criminal.
That would have been criminal, bro. I'd get locked
Reds legend. He's in LA now too, which is insane.
Exactly. Yeah, bro. So, all right, without further ado, we're gonna jump into some segments. Now, just keep in mind that these aren't official, like set in stone. If you guys want to see some out of there, if you guys want to put some in, just let us know. But this is what we got so far. Right now, we got NHL player highlights of the week, which obviously will be starting when the season starts. So that probably won't be something we do, obviously, until the season starts. Fantasy pickups, drops, and a trade review. That'll be pretty cool because I think Zach and I are very invested in fantasy hockey. So it'll be pretty cool to
2 dynasty leagues, baby.
There, yeah, he's a big dynasty guy. Prospect highlights. Now this is going to be pretty cool. This is going to give you guys a little bit of insight into scouting. Zach and I have done a lot of work. I actually recently got certified by SMWW for general managing and scouting. So I learned a lot from that. I'm going to be applying it to this. And Zach's just, as I said, like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to hockey. So anybody out there who's looking to either learn more about prospects or looking to learn more about scouting, that'll be a quick little segment that I think you guys will really love. And then team draft review. Now, this is one thing that I think will be pretty cool because Zach and I did a lot of work for this last draft, and it was a lot of interesting results. Yeah, especially me. I'll show you guys all that.
Crazy.
Oh yeah. But Zach and I are going to be working on that this year, so look out for that too. But so yeah, we have we're going to be going through each team's draft, and then we're going to be giving it a grade. And then obviously as the year goes on, we'll probably plug in more we'll plug in more segments, or we'll just make a different show. We really don't know how it's going to go yet. We just kind of have to see what you guys like, what you guys don't like. And obviously the last segment we got is Twitter questions, and we have a bunch from you guys right now. So we're going to hop into that because right now we just kind of want to make it a light episode just so you guys see, how
All
we
right.
view hockey. So we'll jump into it because and Zach will give you his Twitter right now if you guys want to tweet at him, and he'll open up the floor for the questions, and he'll give his opinion, then I'll give mine, and then he'll throw another question out there. So, and then that'll about wrap up the episode just for the first one. So yeah, take it away, Zach.
Yeah. So if you want your question answered, it's at Flylatory1. It'll be linked below anyway. So, so first question. This is more to me, but because stars, Jacob, you can answer this too as well. From Guru, one of my buddies, Avs fan, analytics guy. What line combinations would you like to see the Stars try out that include splitting up Robertson, Hintz, and Pavelski? So it's just pretty much remove one of them. You could plug someone else in. This is one. So I'm in a Stars group chat with a lot of Stars fans, right? This is one I've seen a lot from them, and I completely agree with this. When Pavelski, retires or regresses a bit, which dude's 39 at this point, when's Father Time going to catch him? It's pretty much this is the line. I think a lot of people think it's going to be Robertson, Hintz, and Stankoven, which I think. I mean, first off, that line would be still extremely dynamic. You have the speed of Rope, you have Robo, and Stankoven's hockey IQ is up there with some of the best, especially at his size. Like, it's insane. Johnston is someone I would at some point. It's weird because I think he'd be like the perfect Tusi on a contender. He's so, especially when he hits his prime, he's so good. I did not really expect his rookie year to go that well. So, especially because he kept getting better and better as the year went on. Because obviously, as a rookie, it's going to take some time to adjust to the game, unless you're going to be like Connor Bedard, who's probably going to come out the gates. But that's a generational prospect, right? So, if I could think of another one, when Rope went down last year, it was Sagan on the top line. I would like to see at some point Duchesne up there on the wing with Rope and Robertson. I think adding that factor is interesting because you add a factor of speed and they all have good hands on this team, on that line pretty much. So seeing Duchesne, especially because I think not last year, but the year before, he had 85 points. Like, there is definitely still something there. And I think putting him with, especially if one of them goes down, putting him up there would just be, it wouldn't miss a beat. But hey, Jacob, I want to hear your thoughts.
So my thoughts are very similar. So one thing I really look at when it comes to a successful line, I have a formula, at least in my opinion, for what works. I have a grindy player, someone who will just scrap in the corners, a playmaker, and a goal scorer. That's what I believe. If you look at all the best lines in the league, they have that component. Whether the grindy player is a skill player as well, but I think that's the formula that it seems basic, but honestly, there's a lot of lines that don't work because they have players who both are playmakers. Penguins did that a lot this year. They had guys on the third line. They were trying to get some third line scoring, fourth line scoring, but they just had all playmaker guys. So it's like everybody's just passing the puck to each other. Nobody wants to shoot. And then there were all those guys who don't want to get the puck. But the point is, I think that Rupe Hintz is an interesting guy. I think he is probably one of the fastest players in the league. He plays at an undeniable. You can't deny how fast the kid is. He is ungodly fast. And I think the only person that will be able to keep up with that now, as you said, Joe Pavelski's 39. All right.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't think it's smart to have guys like Robertson's not fast either. Robertson's not fast, but he at least has the reach to keep up with it. He has the reach to extend the ice that Pavelski doesn't have anymore. He has the reach to extend the ice that can keep up with Rupe's speed, because what you got to do is you got to catch Rupe in stride. And the thing is, when you have a long reach, you can extend his area of play where you can get him, where you can become a receiving the puck from him, or where you can dish it to him. So when he's just flying around like a firecracker, you have a lot more options for him if you're a longer player with a high IQ. Now, Matt Duchene is one of the fastest players in the league as well. He's a missile. He's a missile. So I think it would be interesting to see Matt Duchene with Rupe Hintz and Jason Robertson, as you said, for that reason. As I think that would be awesome. But as I also hinted to before about a grinder on the line, obviously Rupe Hintz does do a lot of dirty work. But I think if you want him to be a skill player, you don't want him throwing his body around like that.
Yeah.
You really don't want. And he's what's his weight? Hold on, I remember I just saw it, but he's not a big guy. He's not like a big
He's
guy.
225.
That is kind of big. I don't know. But the point is, I would rather have a guy like Mason Marchment in there. I'd rather have a guy like Mason See, and that's fair. And that's fair that you wouldn't like that.
You're going to upset a lot of my stars.
He's fast. He's fast. At least the games I've watched him play, he's quick. He's quick. And that's not my first choice. That's a hot take.
Yeah,
but I just think that could be interesting. That could be something they could explore, is considering the fact that he's a rough dude. He's a rough. Yeah. I'd rather see Duchene up there, but it would be interesting to see Marchment up there.
He's a big boy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's
that's
like 6'4".
Right.
He didn't have a great year. I mean, he started off really hot last year.
Yeah.
He really
did. And that's the thing I was saying. You're not looking for him to be the best player or that. Like, you're not looking for him to do that. You know what I mean?
We weren't looking for that last year either. He was with Sagan, I think, a lot of the year.
I'm looking at Daily Faceoff now. They have the third line is Sagan,
Duchene, Marchment.
Is that the way it's looking? Like, do
yeah.
You think that's how it's going to be?
Second line is also pretty much set in stone with Johnston, Benn, and Dodonov, because that line, especially when Dodonov came over, was fantastic. By the way,
that's interesting.
So underrated. He was so good with us last year.
He's a slept-on guy. I
love him. I loved him when he came over. I did not expect much, especially because you trade Gurianov.
Yeah, I was a big Gurianov guy.
So was I, especially after his rookie year. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
But especially Gurianov's in Nashville now. It's so weird to me. But that second line, I mean, you wouldn't think it's one of the best second lines in the league.
Not by looking at it, no.
It quietly is, especially after Jamie Benn's year last year, which nobody expected. I mean, come on. Yeah. I didn't expect it. I thought he was cooked, but
cooked.
Look at me. Apparently, I'm the one who was.
Oh man. So let's move on. But yeah, I think Duchene would be awesome on that first line. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
All right. So next question from you.
From Drew. It's 3 questions. It's a lot. It's for teams and stars, but he said you can also make it pens as well. So expectations for the stars, and I'll put this in /pens this season. What stars /pens have chances at awards? And this one's just a general question. Which teams make the playoffs? So I'll start with you on this one.
So I didn't really plug that in earlier, but I'm a big Penguins fan, but I'm a huge hockey fan. I feel like I can talk intelligently about every team. But for the Penguins, I think you said predictions on where they're going to be and players can get awards, and then what was the last one?
Which teams make the playoffs. That was just a general one.
Okay. I think the Penguins, they're a bottom 6 scorer away from being a good contender. Like if they get a guy like Thomas Tatar, I think that there's so many question marks, because if you can get Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang to get on track offensively, that's disgusting. But you need to pair them with defensive defensemen. And Marcus Pettersson is quietly been an unbelievable defensive defenseman.
So I'm looking through Daily Faceoff at the D pairings. They have
Graves.
Letang with Graves and Karlsson with Pettersson.
Right. And I like that. I like that a lot. I think they have a fantastic top 6. That top 6 would have been so much more heavily praised if the bottom 6 didn't sell them last year. So now they have a bottom 6 that is just defensively sound, which I really like. I would like to see more scoring down there, but the top 6, I still like the top 6. I mean, it does suck that we lost Zucker, but Riley Smith, I think, will be really good for us. Yeah. We don't have Jake Gensel for the first 5 games, but I think people are kind of overblowing that. He's only out for like 5 games.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's still not great because it's Jake Gensel. But I think we can work around that. I think there's a way to work around that. But I think the Penguins have, I don't want to say a good shot because they're all old and you never know when time's going to catch up with them.
You're talking about Alex Nylander in the top 6 is going to revive him. Come on.
I think he should be bottom 6. I think he'll actually be really solid.
Daily Faceoff has him on the second line with Gino and Rust.
He played good there last year for a little bit, but I don't think that's sustainable if you want to win.
Put like Rem Pitlick up there. I like Rem Pitlick.
I do like, yeah. See, I like Pitlick as well. I do like Pitlick. I think that the Penguins are going to make the playoffs. I don't know how far they'll go. It really depends on, obviously with age, there's a lot of injury-prone players. Jari as well, for sure. I think Nedeljkovic will be a really solid backup, though. I'm really excited to see that. I think he'll have a bit of a bounce back.
I liked their goaltending acquisitions.
Yeah, me too. For sure.
I liked taking a chance on Ned. I wanted Hellberg as actually a guy for the Stars to get as a third goalie because Wedgwood, but just such an interesting team to me because Noel Acciari I think was one of the more underrated pickups.
Yes, absolutely.
He scored, I want to say close to like 15 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look.
I was excited 14. About Noel Acciari. Yeah,
he scored 14. Yeah. But he's the definition of a quality bottom 6 guy that can also play on a second line as well. On a second, I don't know about a second. Okay, but he can play physical. That's
he'll
have that physical aspect.
Absolutely, without a question. Yep. I'm excited to see that because we need
Lars Eller was pretty solid. Lars Eller is a solid pickup. And Rem Pitlick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll do really well in the bottom 6. I liked him in Montreal. I liked him in Minnesota. So it'll be interesting for the Pens. Now awards.
Now I'm going to kind of come out of left. I don't know if it's going to be out of left field, but it'll be interesting. So I think Sidney Crosby is quietly, I don't know if it's quietly for you, but for me, I think people are underestimating how much of an overall player, how fantastic he has been his whole career. And I think with him slowing down and him knowing that he's slowing down, he's going to take more of a defensive. I think he's going to be focused a lot on defense. And I think he could make a run at Selke. That's one of the only awards he doesn't have. He's a fantastic defender. He gets votes all the time. I think he can make a run at it. I don't think any player on the Penguins is outright going to win an award. But if I were to put my money on one, because nobody's winning MVP, no matter how good of a season Crosby, like McDavid, like McKinney, and Soto, because they're just going to put up ungodly amount of points. But if you want to think of a realistic award, and obviously Carlson's not winning another Norris on the second line. They're not giving a Norris trophy to a second line.
I don't know why he'd even be playing second pairing.
We're not putting him and Letang up together. That would be brutal.
Yeah, I know.
That would be brutal. But yeah, so if we're thinking realistic, I think the best award chance that they have is probably Crosby with the Selke. I think that's the best chance. I don't know if it will happen, but I'm thinking realistically, I think Crosby has been one of the most underrated defensive players. He's just unbelievable. You watch the guy play and he just makes high IQ plays on both ends, which is just it's awesome to watch and it's a pleasure to watch. And I think with him slowing down, he's going to know he's going to have to take a more defensive role and let other players kind of like move the puck a little bit more. So he's going to be looking to more make those defensive plays, and I think he will have a good shot at Selke. So that's what I think. And then playoff, I'll let you go with the Stars first before I go into the playoffs. Because I think a couple other people asked about playoffs too, so we could just do that at the end if you want.
Just to also say this, Crosby finished 12th in Selke voting this year. So he tied for 12th with JT Compher. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, the analytics don't really – and the analytics say he's kind of just mid defensively, but
I guess it's just the eye test. When I watch the games, I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's locking up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to combine the eye test and analytics. That's how I view it.
That's fair.
My expectation for the Stars, far. I mean, they're going to be a contender through and through. I think, especially with the acquisition of Duchesne, I think they're a solidified contender. Because a lot of people last year, before the season, underrated. That just had some of them. Some people had them out of the playoffs. Some people thought we were just going to be a wild card and first round out. We are a good team, obviously. The biggest question obviously comes in the defense because you can't just have Miro carrying it every night. Thomas Harley was fantastic in the playoffs, the second best defenseman on the Stars. Which is it a low bar right now? Yeah, especially in recent years when it's just been a really good defensive team with not much offense, and now it's just offense but without with mid defense outside of Miro, who is everything you could want in a defenseman and more. But the only if Nils Lundqvist actually comes out and becomes what he's supposed to be, which is a really good two-way guy, and Thomas Harley was, if he can just do that again, pretty much, then this team can win a cup. I fully believe that. Do I think it'll happen? I don't know, because the West is interesting to me. Because you have Vegas as one of the top contenders. You have Edmonton, who I think is going to be incredible this year again, especially with having Ekholm for a full year. Like, that team is nasty. And then you have Seattle emerging. You have LA potentially emerging. You have, I'm just looking through teams. It's going to be an interesting, and the Avs are still there. So it's going to be an interesting mix to see who actually comes out of the West in general. I think they make a conference finals again. I think they're better than the Avs. I think they're better than Minnesota. And then we'll see, in my opinion. What Stars can win awards? I mean, I mean, Robertson can win MVP. Do I think he will? No, because McDavid and Draisaitl and a lot of other guys exist. Well, not a lot of other guys, but you know what I mean. Rope Hintz can win a Selke. He finished 12th this year. He finished 11th this year. So I think that'll be interesting to see. Joe Pavelski can also win it because he's also great defensively. The back part goes really unnoticed about his game as well. And then Miro can win a Norris. It's pretty much that. I don't think they're going to have a Calder guy this year. Oh, yeah, Nodger can win a Vesna. So
yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that one.
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, that's pretty much what I think. So it'll be interesting to watch, though.
I think the recording only goes for 30 minutes, so we could probably plug in a couple more questions really quickly, and then we got to wrap it up because I think a recording session only is 30 minutes per video. So we'll get some quick questions in here.
Next one comes from my buddy Schmitty. By the way, shout out PG's Cast, great guys. Who will be the next guy to join the 60 goal club? I don't know. I actually don't know because here's the thing: McDavid can do it again. I fully believe it. Pasta. Maybe. Matthews, yeah, he's got the talent as well. We're talking about someone else. Something I want to see real quick. There's one guy I had in mind when I was thinking about my answer to this last night. I just want to see something. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. No, never mind. Ooh.
I might have one.
Who?
I think an interesting one could be Mikko Rantanen.
Really?
Mikko had 55 this year. He had
True.
55. I think he could. I could see it. Another one I could see if he starts to shoot. Oh, let me check his shooting. How many shots did he take last year? Yeah, if he shoots more, I think it'll be Tage Thompson. If he shoots more, I'll take Tage Thompson.
I mean, he was like what 3 away from 50.
He was he was 3 away from 50. He missed 4 games. It's not a lot to miss, but I think he's just going up. This guy is just trending upwards, and I think a second year of stardom, he could do it. I think there's a chance. There's a chance. I'm not saying because 60 goals is nothing to just take lightly. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the only guys that got it this year were McDavid and and Pasternak. Although 60 it's always hard to get to, but if I'm looking at guys that haven't gotten it yet, I'm gonna take probably gonna take Tage Thompson. Um, I could see Miko getting it, but
Miko
I'm
does
probably
both.
taking Tage.
That's
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the interesting thing, and I don't think he's also. I think he's more of a playmaker than a shooter.
Right, I agree. Even though he has a heavy shot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's an interesting guy I think could, but hasn't put it all together.
is it
He's
Hughes?
scored 40 once in his sophomore year, and I don't think he's been close. Has he been close to 40 cents?
Oh,
Because he has an
I'm
awesome,
curious.
he has a hell of a shot. Patty Line.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean
that's a
he's
bit of
always
a
had that potential.
always
He's
had
always had the
a
potential.
shot. I don't. Do I think he realistically hits it? No, but he's with Gaudreau, and eventually, when his 1C becomes Fantilli,
Right.
he's going to be on what I think could be one of the best lines in hockey. I think you're right about Tage. I think you're right. Miko's an interesting one. I think because another one I was thinking about was McKinnon.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking that. I
Because
thought about that, but
I thought he missed more games than he did last year.
he does get hurt. Uh,
Yeah.
like he gets hurt sporadically though. So like that's
Yeah.
why I was kind of holding off on it. But I would not be surprised one bit if he hit 60.
And a guy
Not
for like
one
a
bit.
future bet to hit 60. I'm obviously not saying it's going to happen this year because
Is it
Connor
Bedard?
Bedard. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
it is.
That was kind of obvious. But come on, look at his shot. It's very Matthews esque. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
come on. He's going to be one of the best players in the league in like 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Without a question.
he's going to be amazing. There might be one more guy, and I'm shocked he even hit 40 last year himself.
See,
And as much as I berate this fan base on Twitter, all right, shut up. Timmy.
Okay.
He
Interesting.
hit 39.
Okay.
If he stayed healthy for 4 more games, he would have hit 40. Do I think he actually doesn't know? Because he's a very video game esque player
Yeah.
in terms of how he plays. And I think he's amazing. I think I think he could at least score 50. I don't think 60. And
Yeah.
one more guy. I just go one more guy, Jack Hughes.
I was thinking that too. He had 336 shots. He was ranked 5th in shooting, which is something you don't really hear a whole lot about because of how fantastic of a playmaker he is. But that's an element to his game that I think if he gets more muscle, he's gonna be. Oh,
Even when he was coming into the league, like no one, I don't think really anyone expected him to score 40.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
here it is. He's again another video game like player. He's got a lot more speed than Stutzla, in my opinion, which I think separates him from a lot of other players.
His shiftiness on his edges, he can be anywhere at any point. It doesn't matter how unfeasible it looks on skates. He'll get himself to that one open spot. And even though he doesn't have a hard shot, his shooting selection is really interesting. Yeah, exactly. And if he gets more muscle and power behind his shot, that's wraps. He could hit 60.
Which he's already been doing pretty much every year since his rookie year.
Exactly.
Because his rookie year was rough. He added a lot more weight. He added a lot more bulk, which was needed, especially if you're a smaller guy.
Exactly.
So, and one more guy. I know I keep saying that. And this might be a reach. I don't know if it is. He is a smaller guy, but come come on, he's going to score. I think he's going to score 40 this year. Cole Caulfield.
He'll get 40. I don't know, not 60, but he could.
I think we have 40 this year, but I think in the future he could as well, especially with
Yeah,
his shot.
yeah.
I think it's one of the more I think it's one of the most lethal shots in the league.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something to be said about form over strength, because his form is impeccable. But obviously he's a small dude. Like he's small. He doesn't have a whole lot of strength. But his form is immaculate. It's heavenly. So yeah, I could see that.
In the league.
And that's the cool thing about him is he'll probably always be in that race, because as players develop, as they get wear and tear, muscles start to you lose weight, you lose whatever, you gain muscle, you have to change your shot, change your power, but his form is going to take him through his whole career. You can keep that form for your whole career, no matter if you gain muscle, lose muscle. That's what's going to keep him always in the race for an award like that, or not, or an honor like that, where like 60 goals. It'll always keep him in the running, because his form will always be like that.
He's so good.
Oh yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, but it's a lot of guys, but ultimately it's probably going to be at the end of the day for new ones to join, like 1 or 2.
Yeah, if any.
Yeah, obviously. Next one from Darian, a fellow Stars fan. This is a Stars question. What's the Stars OT record prediction, since we were awful in OT last year?
I'm gonna let you take that one. I don't know anything about that, so we'll let you take that. And then
look up the Stars OT record last year. It was so bad. It was rough, dude. It was like, I think we were like second worst in terms of like guys and teams contending for a playoff spot outside of like Calgary. Calgary also was really bad in OT last year. Let me find it. We had 14.
The Penguins were also terrible in that regard as well, for some reason.
Sharks had 14 overtime losses. So can't find it. Oh, here we are. In 2022-23, the Stars were 8-0-14 in OT. Man, that was rough. I think we'll be better. Stars, which is weird, last 3 years we've been on and off. Good OT, great in OT in the bubble year, and then opposite. We were bad in OT that year, which cost us a playoff spot. Good in OT the year before, and then we were bad this year. So it'll really depend. I think we'll be good this year. We have a great team. So, like 10, 11 wins, 11 OT wins. I don't think it'll really even out, honestly. That's kind of evening it out, but it's not going to be 500. And it depends if we even get that far. It depends if we even get that far in a lot of games. So, who really knows? It's all a situation. It's very situational. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then this question got posted a lot. I'll actually answer it, because question is from, let me find all the fans who said this, from Diekev, from NHL Insider Max Pacioretty, and then from VGK Cringe. Who do you think Monahan is going to play with this year? I'll actually answer it, because I know you guys. I can't tell if this is a troll or not. Ideally, you want to play him over Dvorak, right? And he's projected second line, Dvorak, and I'd play him over Evans and Dvorak. So, Sean Monahan also did not have a bad year last year. I will say that. What did he do last year? Yeah, he had 17 points in 25 games.
I think he's just a meme. That's why people hate on him.
I like Monahan, especially when he was in Calgary. Ideally, I don't know, Newhook and Slav or something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or him with Raphael, Harvey, Pinard, and like Slaffer, Newhook. I don't know. With how I've seen projections on what line Slavkovsky's going to be on, it's just so messy.
Hmm.
If you know
Yeah,
what I mean, because I've seen
but
him.
it's a good mess because there's talent all over the place. I feel like.
I don't know because I've seen him from range on the fourth line to range on the second line. So ideally, you don't play a first overall pick on a fourth line. But hey, that's just me. I'm not the coach of Montreal. I'm not Martin St. Louis. So I'm also not any of their scouts who said Florian Zekai is a unicorn. So yeah,
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
You
I
used
told
to
you
do
about that.
that.
That was so bad.
Yeah, that was
25 points in 6 or something games. Woohoo! Uh, Ross, my buddy Ross, he's asked, do the Sabres finally end the drought? I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
think,
agree.
especially because think of this, right? You look at the Atlantic Division now, Boston
Falling off.
falling off, both their top two centers gone,
Yep.
which sucks, by the way. Tampa, God, Tampa's a really hard team to project for this year. I will say that.
I think they'll at least be in it.
Yeah, so do I.
I think them and Toronto will be in it.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be the top two. Florida, they'll be in it. I think they're gonna have injuries to start the year. I'm pretty sure about that. I could be wrong. I think Montour's missing some time. I forget. I think Ekblad is as well.
Yep.
So missing their top two D-men hurts. I mean, they obviously got reinforcements in the offseason with guys like OEL, Kulikov, Nico Mikula, Mike Riley, which, by the way, that Mike Riley signing, I think, is one of the more underrated ones. And then you're getting Spencer Knight back as well, which is going to help a lot. And then getting a guy like Erod helps a lot as well because Erod was pretty solid last year, I think. So
Yeah.
and then I think they're going to be. I honestly think they're going to finish fourth in that division, and I think they're going to finish in probably wild card one spot, especially if they get goaltending because that's pretty much what they're missing is insane is great goaltending, and Devin Levi is going to be a stud, I think.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think they're so talented as well. Like, come on, especially that Dahlin extension happens,
Yeah.
which it's looking like it
for sure.
What about you?
I'm looking at it as I think the Atlantic is very interesting. I genuinely believe there are three teams that are going to take massive leaps, at least when it comes to productivity. I think the Metro will have three teams. There are three teams, and then I think the Atlantic is going to have five. I think that Detroit. I think that Ottawa has Ottawa not as much. I think they're probably below Florida. Losing the Brink is huge. Losing the Brinket is
and I'm
huge.
not a
It's
big
huge. It's
Korpisalo
huge,
believer.
and that's fair. But I think that Buffalo, Florida, and Detroit will all be fighting pretty hard. I think that it might be unpopular opinion, but I think that New York takes a bit of a step back this year. I think I think they're going to take a step back. I think the Metro is going to be now. This isn't me because I'm a Penguins fan. This is because I think that they probably will. I think it'll go New Jersey, Carolina, and Pittsburgh in the Metro, and I think that the Atlantic will be Toronto, Tampa Bay, or Buffalo. I genuinely think Buffalo could be just lights out. They could be lights out. If Devin Levi hits, lights out. They could be unbelievable.
That Levi looked great in the games he played too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And he gets a whole year development camp. He comes in or training camp comes in. He just steals the show. I think they could be second in the division.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then I think you can't knock Tampa off completely. They're not going to miss the playoffs. I doubt it. So they'll probably get the third spot. And then I think Detroit is going to take a big leap this year. I think Detroit is looking dangerous. I don't think people are giving them enough credit. I think they look really good. So I'm going to say Detroit in the first wild card spot. And the only team from the Metro I could see even putting up a fight
Rangers.
is the Rangers or Islanders. I mean, the Rangers probably could put up a good fight, but I think that Islanders are weird, man. Islanders are just weird because,
Sleepy Lou.
yeah, they're like
They're old. They are old.
yeah. It'll be one or the other. I don't think it'll be the Rangers and the Islanders competing. I think it'll be one or the other.
I mean, when you have
Um,
Sorokin and Shesterkin, you kind of
exactly right.
for it.
No, that's fair. But I personally think it'll be one or the other, and then they'll be competing. Florida, it's tough, man. The East is tough for me.
Yeah.
East is tough for me, but I
It's
think
just
definitely
getting
Detroit
better
gets a
as
wild card
well,
spot.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I definitely think Detroit gets a wild card spot. I don't know who gets the second one though. There are a couple teams, but yeah, I think Buffalo.
Buffalo's ceiling, I think they have one of the highest ceilings in the league, especially when guys
Yeah.
like Savoy and or Savoy, I don't know how to
Mhm.
say it really, and Zach Benson come in.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
They
going to be
still have
like.
even better guys after that, don't they? Still have like Yuri Kulik and
Yeah, they have Kulich, they have Osland,
yeah.
they
Oh my
have
gosh, they have Osland too.
Lucas Rosek as well.
Yep. That offense is, and the thing is, they could do like a New
They have
Jersey
Maxime
and trade.
Sturbach,
Yes, and Maxime Sturbach is going to be. He'll be a solid like third
defensive
line piece for
defenseman.
them. Oh yeah, I
Pretty
think
much like a diet Matthias Samuelson.
yes. Yep. And I think what they could do is they could just do like New Jersey does, where they stockpile great talent and then they can trade for whatever they think they need. So I think that'll be huge for them as well. I think that team, sky's the
Jersey
limit for
didn't
them.
really do that as well.
No, well, I'm just saying, like, you know how they traded away Zetterlund
Oh yeah,
and like what they
that
did for
deal was
Timo Meier?
also
I'm not
terrible.
saying I agree, but I'm just saying like they have the pieces to where if they wanted to, they can move guys out, they can move
And
picks out
Sharangovich.
to get exactly, and they went and got Tyler Toffoli exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like they can move out pieces with high value, even like to go get what they want to win. You know what I mean? Like to get the pieces they want because they're trading away valuable assets. But they're bringing in players that they know will work for them.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be. I think that's a lot with what Buffalo will do as well. I think Buffalo has the ability to do that with the prospects
They
and
did
picks
that.
have.
They kind of did that with Portillo, but at the same time, there wasn't really any room for him.
Yeah.
So, next one from Zeke. Central Division standing predictions.
Central Division standings. I was kind of wrestling with this one a little bit. I had Colorado, Dallas, very close. I think they could. They
We were
could go
separated
either
by
way.
1 point this year. So
Exactly. I think they could go either way. I think it really could be either way. And then
I'm not a big fan of Colorado's top six.
Really interesting.
Here's why. Drouin is projected to be on the top line.
Oh, brutal. Hold on. Let me check.
And then McKinnon, Rantanen. Second line is Lehkonen, Johansson, and Nichushkin. I think Ross Colton will be their second line center by year's end.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Their forward course is not great. They're projected to be playing Chris Wagner.
You don't think Brian Johansson will be their second line center?
I think by the end of the year it'll be Colton.
They got Miles Wood too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the term on that.
That's fair. But I still like Wood.
I mean, their defense is still good though, especially because Devon Taves, I think, is in a contract year.
Yeah.
That Jake Sanderson contract really up his price too. So, yeah. I mean, and they still have guys like Samuel Girard, Josh Manson, Bowen Byram, who I think is going to break out this year fully.
A hot take. Now, this might be a super hot take. I don't really know. I mean, it's not really going to affect them too much. But I think a bottom six player that we could see maybe later in the year is Caleb Ritchie. He's really NHL ready. I think he's NHL ready. I don't think his ceiling's that high. I don't think his ceiling's that high
either.
but I think he's ready. I think he's ready when it comes to the fundamentals that they need. If they really start struggling and need to mix things up, I think that we could see it. I don't think it'll have that much of an effect, but I think it could be interesting. I think it could be a little bit of a.
Let's see. There's one prospect I think that could make them out of camp. I don't think it's going to be Cal Ritchie.
Would it be Olison? I think.
Olison, yeah.
Yeah, Olison could. I could see that as well.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of their guys in their prospect pool, it's not a big high ceiling one, except Guyev.
Oh, I love Guev. Love him.
I hated / loved that pick
I love him. I love
because
him. I love him.
because they know how to develop D-men. So it's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
scared.
so excited to see that. He was one of my favorite prospects.
know.
I was so happy when he got drafted. Oh man, dude, him and McCarr, like that's just not fair.
Yeah.
That is not fair. That is not fair for the league at
And
all.
then but we're forgetting the piece of resistance in the Avs D pairings, the greatest of all time,
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson.
Good God.
Respect the goat,
Oh my God, no.
Penn's legend.
We're still paying for him. We're still paying for him.
Respect it.
We're still paying. I think wait. Or either we're still paying for him or we just finished paying for him. One or the other. Either way, he was still killing us last year.
But the rest of your central?
Oh yeah. Rest of my central. And then I have. I think Minnesota and St. Louis
Still paying for
are.
him for the next 3 years.
Yeah. Okay.
960K though.
That's not terrible.
That's
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 great.
nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah. So Minnesota, Seattle, or not Seattle. St. Louis. Then it's tough because I still have Chicago at the bottom.
Yeah. I think everyone does.
But I don't hate Arizona. I don't hate them. I don't hate them as much as people ever do. I think Nashville's second to last. And then
Really?
I think Nashville's second to last. I mean, like we were just saying about how Boston lost their first 2 centers. I mean, that's exactly what Nashville just did. They just completely
but they got Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, they got Ryan O'Reilly, but I don't think he fits with their style. I don't think he fits with them.
It doesn't fit Andrew Burnett.
I don't think he fits that style.
It doesn't fit Andrew Burnett. It doesn't fit what Andrew Burnett is, which is an offensive coach.
Exactly.
I mean, we saw him be an offensive coach in Florida. So
right. So
I think they're an interesting team, though.
I think it's a hot take, but I have them second to last in the division, and then I have. Yeah, I'll probably put the Jets over Arizona. I probably have Arizona third, but I would not be surprised if Arizona surprises people. My boy, Logan Cooley. Got his jersey up here.
I wouldn't be sure. They actually have a Cooley jersey.
Did I not show you that?
No.
Oh, I'll have to pull that out sometime.
Yeah.
That's going to be for one of the streams. Yeah, I got a Kachina Logan Cooley jersey.
Oh, okay, that's sick. Yeah, no, that's actually sick.
You know what's interesting? The day that they signed him, I got it. I was like, you know what? This kid was the start to my scouting journey. I said this kid was going to be the best player out of his draft. And I wrote a bunch of reports about him, so I thought it was really like sentimental for me to get a Logan Cooley jersey. So I had to. I was like, you know what? I'm getting this. And I've always wanted a Kachina jersey, so I'm like, I'll get it. Why not?
You have to stay in Arizona. That's a whole thing, a whole other thing. But hey, Arizona. Okay, let's go mine.
Yeah, go yours.
It's the same with you. It's the same top 2, same top 3, actually. I think Avs and Dallas will be separated by 1 point again. Yeah, then it'll be Minnesota.
Doesn't miss like 13 games.
He only missed,
or not 13 games. My bad. 11 games. He doesn't miss 11 games.
And then I think it's gonna be Minnesota, especially if like they actually have a number 1 center this time around.
Yeah.
Marco Rossi noises. Please, I beg. I don't want to be wrong on my Marco Rossi take.
Or if Joel Eriksson Ek takes a huge offensive step,
That too. I like Eriksson Ek a lot.
one of the best defensive centers in the league.
One of the best two-way centers in general.
Easily, yeah.
And then fourth. Ooh. God, that's tough. Ugh.
I had St. Louis pretty easily for me personally. I looked at their lineup and I'm like, that's still kind of scary.
I think fourth, I'm going to, as much as I might hate myself for this, I'm going to put Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
I'm not high on them either. Especially because we don't really know about Hellebuck still in terms of his status. And it's also this, right? It's bonus style hockey, boring, and Ehlers only averaged like 15 minutes of ice last year, which is brutal. So, but I mean, their pickups in the offseason, Gabe Velarde is really underrated, I think.
Kapari.
Kapari.
Didn't they get Iafallo too?
Yeah, they're pretty good. It's still always a question of their defense. I mean, Jomo broke out last year, which nobody saw coming, I think.
No.
And then you still have Hellebuck for how long? Who knows? I still think he should have been a king by this point. But hey, they traded for the wrong jet, in my opinion. And then you have Laurent Brossoit. So it's an interesting team. I think it could go either way, especially if a certain Brad Lambert takes the jump.
Chaz Lucius as well.
But Lambert's closer, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. He almost made them out of camp, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear too much noise about that.
We'll see. And it's an interesting team. I think fourth. I think fourth through 8 is very mixed bag. I'll go Nashville. I meant fifth. Yeah, I meant fifth. I'll go Arizona fifth. What am I doing? I like him too. I think they're going to be competing for a wild card spot till really the end.
Okay.
Well, not till the end, but you know what I mean. Like the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be playing meaningful hockey for most of the year. Especially because Barrett Hayton took a step last year, which was needed.
Yeah.
He was pretty good last year. Clayton Keller took a huge step.
Mm-hmm. After his injury, yeah.
Yeah, and Logan Cooley's going to be dynamic. Dylan Genther's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Zucker, underrated.
What are the odds you think they bring Geeky as a 3C just to get him integrated?
Low.
Or you think he takes another year?
Low.
I think he takes another year.
Yeah, so do I. I'm not high on Geeky either.
I think next year he could, though. I think next year he could.
I'm not too high on him, though.
Really? Interesting. That's fair. I think that the tools that they have in Arizona, I think if you throw him in a different system, he doesn't do too well. But I think the tools that they have around him will be great. Now, if you
a good coach.
Yeah. If you throw him into a team, Geeky into a team that doesn't fit a guy who's not a great skater, because he's not a great skater, but his IQ is through the roof. Exactly. If you pair him with other high IQ players, he'll do really well.
You know what you could do? You could. Let's say next year, you could put him as a 2C. Put him on a line with Cooley.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Who's playing? I think Cooley's got Selke potential in his career. I think he could be a center. I think he's a center. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to Geeky on the wing.
Yeah.
Like, Geeky on the wing might not be the worst idea.
Or you could just put Geeky on the wing with Cooley.
Exactly. Because although he's not shifty enough to be moving up and down the boards as playing defense, he's got the reach to where he can make up for, because unlike Logan Cooley, who's going to have to be taking the whole center of the ice, Geeky's only really got to cover his select area, and he has the reach, and he gets his hand-eye coordination up to speed and his defensive IQ at least somewhat better, and his skating a little bit better. He could cover a point decently, and then we already know how good he is on offense. So That goes without saying. But his
Mhm.
defense is the biggest issue right now.
Yeah.
But
And then
yeah.
I mean, their defense, it is rough. I'll also mention that. I mean, JJ
Mhm.
Moser, I think nobody expected to be good right out the gate, especially this early in his career.
Yeah.
They got Matt Dumba, who isn't that great.
It's not the worst thing that could happen.
There is
either.
one guy I think could take at least. He's a, I don't know because his defense isn't great, but I think he can break out offensively even more. It's
Wait, let me see.
Sean
Let me
Dursey.
see. Sean Dursey. Oh yeah, Soderstrom too. I like Soderstrom.
Yeah,
He's small though.
yeah. I like Sean Dursey. I think he could break out even more offensively. And you have Vimelka and Connor Ingram, which is a solid tandem, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal save above expected. I mean, it's not great for them, but whatever.
And Dmitry Simashev.
Yeah, Simashev. Yeah, I like.
Dude,
I've come around a lot more on that pick, honestly.
Zach and I were at the draft, and when they took him, it was so funny.
I've come around a lot more on that pick as
Okay.
I've done more reading on it and all that. So I'm not.
Okay.
He
What about
needs. We'll see. The thing is that there were better guys on the board. That was my biggest issue.
For their style specifically, yeah.
Well, here's the thing with Simashev as well. He's already pretty good defensively, but his offensive game needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of reports saying if he literally just improves his offensive game, he could literally be the best defenseman from this class.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's
but I feel like that's an easier said than done thing.
Yeah,
though, you know what I mean?
It is. Oh yeah, no, very. But we'll see. I mean, Boot, high ceiling, low floor, reminds me a lot of. He reminds me a lot of. I'm going to make an NFL reference here. Reminds me a lot of Trey Lance.
Brutal.
Of a high ceiling, low floor guy.
Poor guy. Just compared him to Trey Lance.
Hey man, look, I like Trey Lance coming out of the draft. So.
Oh man. I like Boot a lot. I think he
has a really high ceiling.
He does. He has an unbelievable. He has a Tage Thompson ceiling. Literally, they're the same player. If he gets to that spot, I think
in Arizona he could though.
I agree. Yeah,
especially with the weapons around, especially with the guys around him, guys like Keller, Schmaltz, Cooley.
Yeah, and he's a wing. So I think ideally you would put a guy like him with Cooley Keller. And maybe a guy like Genter. That would be just oh my gosh, it would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they're finishing sixth. I could see actually fifth. I had them fifth. What am I doing?
Yeah,
I've got a hot take. Almost coming. Sixth, Nashville. I like some of their young guys.
You hate St. Louis, Jesus. That's so brutal. That's so.
I like. Here's my thing with Nashville. I like some of their young guys. I like Evangelista. I like Tomasino. Yusel Parson was a nice surprise, and and Novechkin projected 60 points from ESPN. Let's go.
That was terrible. Terrible.
The whole thing is terrible.
That was atrocious.
Johnston, terrible. But Cody Glass actually wasn't bad last year as well, which was insane to me. Which good for him. Great story as well. Their defense, their right side of their defense is defensively at least is rough. It's Luke Shen, Tyson Berry, and Alex Carrier.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, but at least with Berry, you got McDonough on his other side. So.
Right. Yeah.
And here's my thing.
Anyone that's with Yossi is going to be.
And another thing, as long as you have Soros.
True. Still, yeah.
And they have Askarov coming
up. Askarov. Oh my God.
I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's going to be here this year. I think he's probably going to be in the AHL again this year, especially because they re-up Lankinen. Lankinen was not bad last year.
Yeah. And they
So
definitely take him and give Askarov another year if they
yeah,
since they already have that locked in, they definitely would give him another year.
yeah, yeah. But and then seventh, St. Louis. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not high on this team.
Is it the goaltending?
Goaltending and defense.
Okay. Okay.
I One of my good buddies on Twitter is a Blues fan. Shout out Passing Drill. Um, that defense is rough, dude. It is really rough defensively. Like Colton Parayko needs to bounce back heavily.
Yeah.
Torrey Crew. I mean, Nick Leddy, horrible last year, especially coming off signing a 4x4 after his career worst year. Torrey Krug, he's always been an offensive defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Falk, I think Justin Falk's actually their best defenseman. Yeah, and then you have Scandella and Bortuzzo. Like, I like their top six. I think. I don't know who goes on their second line. Because on Daily Faceoff, it's projected Saad, Schenn, and Kapanen.
I think Vrana. I think
Yeah.
Vrana could do that. I think Kevin Hayes was a first line center for the Flyers. I think
He
he
was.
could if they needed to. So I genuinely think
I'd put Jake Neighbors.
that second line could be their third line and their third line be their second line.
I think Jake
And then
Neighbors
you-
could also be up there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think you could just replace that whole second line
Yeah.
with that third line and just flip it. Then they're fine. Honestly.
Like their top nine is good.
But you also got to think, dude, these guys are really good defensive forwards. They have a lot of
Yeah.
like their lineup is they've always had good defensive forwards. Always.
Yeah, O'Reilly,
Mm-hmm.
Schenn.
Right now they got Robert Thomas,
I
Shen,
love
Kevin
Robert
Hayes
Thomas
is decent defense.
is legit. Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou are probably two of the most underrated players in the league. Same with Pavel Buchnevich, actually. But
yeah, Jordan
here's the
Kyrou
thing.
is one of my favorite.
Their goaltending, I like Joel Hoffer. I'm not high on Bennington. Nobody is at this point, I think.
Yeah.
That's what's going to kill him. And Joel Hoffer, I think, has a really good chance to steal that starting job.
Yeah, easily.
And then eighth is obvious.
Honestly, I think within the first 10 games he could take it. Because I don't think they want to be riding
so
that too
I.
much. Yeah.
And then eighth. Come on, this is probably the most obvious one.
Yeah.
This
Dude, if they get Celebrini more
or
and
Demidov.
oh my gosh, dude. That's terrifying. That is terrifying if they get.
I will say with the Hawks, I do think Taylor Radish is pretty underrated. So
Not underrated enough to get them out of the 8th spot.
Yeah. Especially with that certain case coming. I think it's actually coming out soon.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
I think it's coming out this month. I know that. So
yep.
That'll be interesting to watch. I mean, with the Hawks, Reichel, I think, takes a step, especially if he plays first line with Hall and Bedard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really all you have looking forward to. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I do not know if Korchinski makes this team because I don't know if they want to rush him.
I don't think they want to do that. I don't think that's smart.
Which I think is good of them.
Yeah. And then Rinzel as well probably won't make it.
No, Rinzel is a project.
Yes, he is. He is. But, dude, they have a great – I'm excited to see that in a few years, especially if they get a top pick this year, upcoming year, they could be – because you still have, like, Nazar. They still have to
right.
See what I mean? Like, they could just blow people out of the water in a few years.
There's one guy I'm thinking of, and it's not Comesso.
Drew Comesso, okay.
Not Comesso. I'm not thinking of him. There he is. Their goalie they picked this year.
Who'd they
He's
get?
the one I like.
Oh, they got
Adam Gahan. Adam Gahan.
Yeah, from Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like him.
That's who I like.
I like him a lot.
More. I think he's more the goaltender of the future. Comesso, obviously, he's a lot closer because I think he signed already, so he's going to be in Rockford this year.
Guyon's a project, but in the good way. Guyon is literally like Jonathan Quick. He's literally like a rubber man. This guy is one of the most flexible
Goofy.
goalies out there. It's scary, dude. It hurts to watch him play. It's like, how can you physically do some of that stuff? But if he gets his fundamentals down, he gets his positioning down well. He gets his he's raw. But you're right. If he gets his positioning down and his body control down, he's just gonna blow people out of the water. He's gonna be great.
I love their Rubber Man comparison. Just so I can mention One Piece for a quick second.
Oh yeah,
I've been binging it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I have to get back on
episode.
that.
I'm at like episode 500 something. I think I'm like I just got past the time skip.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
My roommate and I are watching Black Clover. It's awesome.
I've heard good
So,
things.
I enjoy it. It's pretty cool.
But here's the thing: the weakest part of Chicago, at least right now, goaltending.
Easily, without a question.
Mrazek
But it
and
doesn't really
Soderblom
matter.
or
Yeah.
Mrazek and Stauber. Which Stauber actually did show some promise. I'm not going to deny that. So
Yeah. I don't think it even matters though, because they're gonna get eighth anyway.
Yeah.
In that division.
that took a while. Next
So-
question from Sicky, my buddy. What's your thoughts on the Habs offseason? I need to look up the New Hook trade again.
Okay.
Mainly just so I could see what those picks were. That's the thing I'm mainly out of the loop from on that trade. I know it was picked in this draft. Yeah, Colorado. Okay. Yeah, Colorado got 31 and another pick. I forget what it was. Oh. You know what that pick turned into?
Gulyayev. Yep. I saw that earlier.
I mean, I like this opportunity. I like the opportunity for New Hook. I really do. Because I don't think he got too much of a fair shake in Colorado. I mean, I know he played 2C for like a few games, but whenever he was on the ice, he was invisible. Like, it was rough. And their first line is really good. I'll say that. Doc, Suzuki, Caulfield, love that. I think Matheson is one of the most underrated defensemen in the league.
Yes, fully agree.
He had such a good year last year.
Fully
And
agree.
Jordan Harris also was very underrated as well. I don't think they make playoffs. I think they improve a bit. Obviously, goaltending is, I wouldn't say bad. I'd say interesting.
Yeah.
Jake Gallen and Sam Multenbull. But if you got a goaltending prospect.
And DeSmith as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to move him.
They're going to move him probably, yeah.
But you have a goaltender of the future you just drafted, so.
True.
You could wait a few years. I like Fowler.
They still have Primo in there, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And then from LT is King. Thoughts on the shootout and who is a sneak in for the playoffs this year? I'm very tempted to say I only like the shootout just because of the mode on NHL. It's the only one I'm good at online.
That's fair. I like the shootout. I
think
mean,
it's fun.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. My roommate hates it. A lot of people hate it.
It's a skills competition.
It's not hockey, but I think for the pure entertainment of it, I like it.
Yeah. So I like one-on-one. I like one-on-ones with the goalie anyway.
Exactly. So I do enjoy that. I know it's not hockey, but it's fun. It's
sneak in for the playoffs. Let's do one from each conference.
Okay. I have mine from the West, Arizona.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Is this a team that we're saying, like, realistically will sneak in, or a team that we think could sneak in?
Could.
Okay, then I'm gonna go Ottawa. A could sneak in. I'm gonna take Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay. There's two I have from the West, but I don't know which one I want to pick. So I'm just gonna go with a team. I'm gonna go Calgary.
Interesting.
I think. I mean, they had the same problem with Stars, was a lot of OT losses, which
Yeah.
was rough. But getting Sutter out of there was really good. Like, oof.
Huge.
And adding and having some of the young guys there full time this year, like Peltier, if Coronado makes it, which I think he will. My weirdest thing with Calgary is that they didn't move Dan Vladar,
Mm-hmm.
especially because Wolf looked ready. I know we played one game, but come on. But I think they're due for a bounce back. I think Jonathan Huberdeau's due for a bounce back. Honestly, especially after last
I
year.
agree. I agree. I mean, you can't get much lower than he was last year for his caliber of
Yeah.
player.
And I know Lindholm. I think it's looking like he's going to sign. So who knows? And a sneak in from the East. For me, that's tough. I'm gonna go the Islanders.
That's fair. That's fair. You were just saying how you don't like them, though.
I was saying that about St. Louis. Here's the only reason I don't like the Islanders, Lou. I'm very soured out on Lou, and they're old. But I think them being old can benefit them in terms of them being an experienced group, knowing the grind, all that, right? And again, you have Ilya Sorokin and a really good defensive structure.
Exactly.
Sorokin is arguably the best goalie in the league. I know you think he is.
I think he is.
That contract is going to be a steal in a few years anyway. So
it's unbelievable.
So it's interesting, and especially getting Bo Horvat last year was huge. I know he didn't really have the greatest with them, but having a guy like him and having Barzell on the wing full time, I think is a really good thing, especially because he's more of a winger. He plays more like a winger.
And it's
And they have, in my opinion, probably one of the more underrated players in Brock Nelson.
True.
He scored 37 and it does not get talked about.
True.
So, and our final question from Cosmic Knight. When do the Jets finally tank? Also, who on that team was a locker room cancer? Okay, who on that team was locker room cancer? Wheeler and Scheifele. Especially during that whole Line saga.
Probably Scheifele more, I'd probably say, though.
But the guys who ran him out of town pretty much, it was definitely those two.
Yeah.
I don't want to go around saying, oh, it was fully them, because obviously we don't know. And when do the Jets finally tank? When they decide to trade off their pieces?
Hellebuck. When Hellebuck goes, I think it's done. I don't think. I think when Hellebuck goes, that's when they start.
Scheifele is so Bruins coded.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think the thing about Hellebuck is once Hellebuck goes, you really don't have a choice. Like you're not going to be. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like once Hellebuck goes, you don't have a choice. You have to restart. No matter how hard you try to win, that man was your whole defense. And once that's gone, you can't win no matter how hard you want to try. So you're going to have to blow it up. So once Hellebuck goes, they're going to blow it up.
Whether it's this season. Actually, no. Yeah. Because Hellebuck's.
It'll be this season.
Yeah. Because Hellebuck's pending UFA.
Exactly. It'll be this season. Right. So it'll be this season.
Yeah. But.
Yeah.
Depending how they do. So.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to stay, even if they do well, honestly. Because he said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Right.
So we'll see. They're a very interesting team in terms of.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're boring to watch, but.
Yeah.
Because I know that style.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. I think Zach and I had a lot of fun. I think Zach and I had a lot of fun today, and
I love talking.
Oh my gosh, yeah, same. So yeah, we definitely missed it. That's why this episode ran pretty long, but we're excited to be back. We're excited to get back to watching hockey, talking about hockey with you guys, and we'll start to make more podcasts. We'll see timing wise how everything's going to work out. We'll see recording wise how we're going to set up all the segments. We got to see which segments we're going to do, how much time we're going to dedicate to each, and we'll play it by ear. But hope everybody enjoyed, and thank you all for watching. And we will see you guys on the next one.
So yeah.